Hi, this is Ron Ball. Welcome back to Choose Greatness, your key to a happier life. I know that so many of you are excited about the programming we're doing right now. We're having fantastic guests on this program who are giving you their heart. They're giving you their insight. They're giving you their experience. And we're hearing from so many of you. So keep the comments coming. Any questions, any comments, you can go to choosegreatness.com, choosegreatness.com, and you can express yourself. We want what you think. And remember to tell as many people as possible about this show. Let them know that Choose Greatness, your key to a happier life, is a different kind of program. We're dealing with real stuff, real issues that will have a tremendous effect on your life personally. So let all your friends, all your neighbors, all your family know right now to tune in and watch what we're doing. Now, on our last program, we had Courtney Shaw, the former, I hate to say former, it sounds like it's something way long ago, but a recent, let me say, a recent Mrs. Florida. And she gave a fantastic testimony, a window into the world of opportunity that the pageant gives to people who are Christians to give a witness for Jesus Christ. And I know you loved her energy. I know you loved her smile. I know if you're guys, you loved your looks. I know that. That's just human. But all of you appreciated her spirit, which is much more important. The Bible speaks of a woman's spirit as being where her true beauty lies. And so you don't have to look like Courtney necessarily. You just have to be like her in her spirit, which is a surrendered spirit to Jesus Christ. So God bless you for watching. And Courtney, welcome back on our previous show. And we just had you stay in the studio, remember?
That's right.
We said, don't go, stay
and
put.
play. That's
and we're
right.
We're here. So we're just doing these shows back to back. And you're wondering right now, what are all these good-looking things on the table? Well, we're going to get to that in a few minutes, but don't lose your focus. Watch us right now, and then we'll let you in on what this is for in a few minutes. But Courtney, when we finished the previous broadcast, you had some powerful things to say about depression. And this is epidemic in our society. And you and I had an interesting discussion as we were preparing for the next show, and we talked about the way that self-centeredness is a part of depression.
Absolutely.
When you're focused on yourself. I had a pastor once who mentored me when I was very young, and I went through a time of temporary depression. Wasn't as deep as what you described, but it was real to me when I went through it. And I went to him and I said, you need to counsel me. You need to spend more time with me. I need more Bible verses. And he didn't do any of that. You know what he did? He took me to nursing homes and hospitals to visit people.
Serve some other people.
That's
Get
exactly
the
what he
focus
did.
off yourself.
And I didn't know what he was doing at first. He said, well, we need to go visit some people. He said, I'll talk to you about your depression later. Let's go see these people. Well, by the time we finished, I wasn't depressed anymore. I mean, I thought, my goodness, because God had opened a river from me to them where his spirit flowed. And suddenly I wasn't thinking about me anymore. I was thinking about them and the tremendous needs they had. So let's just make a comment about that, and then we're going to move into fitness, something you love, and talk about that. But one more word on overcoming depression. Just one more comment on that.
You just think about it. I mean, we weren't created just to receive. We have to release as well. And in order to receive more, we've got to release that which we have. And I'm going to use this phrase because I'm in the health and fitness world and certified personal trainer. And one of the biggest problems with Americans today in sickness and disease, it's in the gut, it's in the digestive system. And so many people are backed up. They need a movement. So just sow in the spirit.
Well, this is not the movement we anticipated originally, but I think you're right.
Ron. Hey, let's just be real. Jesus was straight up. And so in the spirit, so in the natural. You've got to release in order to receive and absorb good nutrition, good encouragement, the Word of God. So we were created to receive, yes, but to release and to pour into others. The Word of God, one of my favorite scriptures I referenced earlier was, out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water, springing up to everlasting life. And if you see a pond, sometimes it could start out beautiful and there's a fountain in there and it's bubbling, it's churning the water, and the next 2 days you drive past it and it's like a cesspool. Well, what happened? The pump stopped working. There has to be a disturbance. There has to be a shifting. There has to be an outtake. in order for the water
has
to be pure. There has to be a movement. That'll preach all in of itself, Ron. But it's the same thing with our spirit, man. If we're not pouring into other people's lives, then we could just become backed up.
We become stagnant.
We become stagnant. And what happens with stagnant water? It stinks, so your attitude gets funky, your perspective on things gets clouded, and it's so true. And so one of the things that we do in our fitness training, in our program, is we combined a whole chapter in our book about serving. So it's like, serving, this is about me. I'm taking care of myself, because the Christian world feels like taking care of your body is a selfish, fleshly thing to do, but it's actually one of the most selfless things to do. So we can be fit to fight, to encourage, to love, to serve, to give, to pour out. And we've got to honor God in our body and our spirit because it's His. And so one of the most important things is being able to put good food in your body so you can absorb that nutrition to be strong and healthy to pour out. And then joy floods in.
Well, this is a perfect moment to transition into fitness in general.
Yeah.
Now, you're on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. Did I get that right?
You sure did. That's a mouthful,
fitness,
Ron.
and nutrition.
Good job,
So,
Ron.
that means that Courtney and her husband are very influential in the world of fitness and nutrition. And this is a great pleasure to have her comment on this for you. And I'll tell you why this matters. I have had individuals say to me, well, I just want to be spiritual. I don't want to focus on all of that, meaning fitness or whatever.
Sure.
And they're sluggish and they have bad moods and they're irritable. And often these are physical causes, not spiritual roots. When I was in my early 40s, I was very out of shape. I was traveling. I was speaking all the time, eating meals late at night, eating bad food.
Yeah.
And you eat bad food because it's the only food available sometimes. Right. Well, I was in Washington, D.C. Actually, it was in Reston, Virginia, on the outskirts of Washington. And I was doing a convention, speaking to about 2,000 or 3,000 people. And I was so fed up with how I felt, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get up tomorrow morning, I'm going to run. Now, you know what's coming, Courtney. I had not run since I was a teenager. So I thought this was going to be unbelievably easy.
It's wonderful.
So I got up and ran a mile. I clocked it the next morning. I ran, and the next day I was so sore I couldn't move. And I got up and I thought, I'm never going to do this again. I thought, well, wait a minute. No. I need this. So I forced myself to keep running. I've been running 25 years now.
Amazing.
And I've continued to run, and I do 35 miles a week. I ran this morning.
Yeah.
And my blood pressure is normal. My cholesterol is low. I mean, my doctor tells me that it's related to my consistent running.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is this, and this is where I want you to pick it up, that Christians could be so much more effective if they felt better.
Come on.
I mean, how can you worship God if you don't feel good? If your digestion's not working, if you don't have energy, if you don't sleep well at night, and what people do, they do pharmaceuticals, they do drugs, they do supplements.
Then you have 5 million side effects.
They get on all these things, you're right, instead of just taking care of themselves. I read a researcher from Romania recently who talked about neutropenes. And he said that neutropenes are the only substance known that actually causes the growth of brain cells. And they're found in certain things like green tea and things like that. But what really stimulates a lot of this is aerobic exercise.
That's right.
And so God gave us a body. I mean, God didn't make a mistake.
No.
God put Adam and Eve in physical bodies.
That's right.
He gave them biological equipment.
That's
so
right.
that's where I
like
want you to come in now and talk about fitness, nutrition, and in just a few minutes we're going to find out what all this is for. You're going to love this. But Courtney, motivate us to be fit. Motivate our audience to get better bodies to serve God.
Amen. Well, part of our message that God gave me at a young age, because I was battling with depression and I was battling with an eating disorder, but I grew up in a home where we loved to eat good food. Now, my father is like a gourmet chef, so we would fellowship around food. And then you get in the church world and everybody's going out to eat and fellowshipping around food. So we need food to live. And God created food for enjoyment. He even created chocolate chips and cookies and my dad's maple sausage breakfast casserole for our enjoyment. But it's all in moderation. And so it's with anything, Ron. God's given us authority over certain things by the Spirit, and He created for us to enjoy, but it's never supposed to be used as a drug. It's never supposed to be used to fill in gaps that only God can fill. And so a lot of Christians, and we've talked about this before, in the church, they know they can't cuss, they know they can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't fornicate. The preacher will tell you that over the pulpit. But what about food? And you know what? That God's given us authority over food, and that He wants us to use use it and look at it from the perspective, it's fuel. Now, I love this example. We talked about this earlier, that, you know, how do you see yourself? How does God see you? He doesn't see you like a bent, you know, broke down Pinto. He sees you like a Ferrari. God does not make junk. I mean, our God formed us in our mother's womb. I mean, he used the good stuff when he made us, and we're lacking nothing. Now it's up to us to be a good steward over that.
Well, what about nutrition? Tell me more about nutrition.
So let's use the parallel of the Ferrari, okay? So you're going to the gas station,
Fuel.
you see, a Ferrari pull up. Well, do you think they're gonna put the low octane stuff in there? No, if they did, they would put out of the gas station. No, they're paying for premium gas, and they're putting optimum fuel, because that Ferrari was made for speed. Guess what? You were made to be driven.
It's a high
to do
performance vehicle.
High performance, and that's the key. Most of us Christians, we're just kind of putting through life, and everything is, but man, when you get that wind blowing in your hair and you get that need for speed and that adrenaline's pumping, that's how life in the spirit should be. We should be alert, we should be vibrant, we should be going into places for God's glory. And so if you look at food, it's fuel. So what kind of fuel are you putting in your body? High octane? Is it living? Is it alive? Is it processed? I mean, if you look at our grocery stores and you go on the aisles, most of the living stuff is on the outer perimeter. So you start there, and then you work your way and you fill some things in. But it's all in moderation.
Well, now, is this important for mothers and their children? Should they get their children eating right?
Oh, it's so absolutely important. Now, I'm a mother of 2 young children. My son Kingston is 9 and my daughter Carrington is 4, and they're both very active. They're both into sports and activity, and they run 90 million miles an hour. Now, I can tell the difference if I give them something that's highly processed, what their energy level is like, what their attitude's like, but then I fuel them with, you know, lean grilled chicken breast and vegetables, and I mean, they're strong
and they eat
fit.
them.
Oh, they love it, because when they were a baby, I put green beans in their mouth first. It's our lifestyle. It's our family. We bring them into a healthy lifestyle. And yes, we're physically active as a family. We get out and ride on the trail, but we live in the most obese country in the world.
Oh.
Over 70% of kids in school now are dealing with type 2 diabetes. They're dealing with all kinds of issues.
And children
Heart
didn't used to
disease.
have that problem.
No, but the epidemic has gotten even stronger because of our society. Think about how fast-paced it is. We want to connect with people instantly. We want things to instantly happen, and so we got to eat food. We no longer sit down as a family and have a meal, and we bless the table. We work together to prepare the food, and we slow down, and we enjoy it, and we fellowship, and we connect. That's what breaking bread is all about, and that's where you instill those healthy habits in your kids.
Well, you've brought something to the show.
Oh, yes, I have.
And I want to know what this is, and I think all of you want to know what this is, right? I mean, aren't you curious what's in this bowl? I know what's in this one. I mean, I've been trying to keep myself back because I want to dig into that.
Listen, you have amazing spirit-led self-control, Ron. I know.
So show us what this is. Give us a demonstration.
Yeah, one of the things we've talked about too is it's like everybody has an excuse. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Yes, we're all very busy, but you've got to be intentional about what you're putting in your body. And you know what? There's no excuse. We've got Pinterest. We've got all these things, but people need just simple recipes like this. So this is a great, I call them energy bites. And the base of this is almond flour. So you take almond flour, and then you can take rice cereal, or you can use oats as well. And then you need something to bind it. So I'm going to be using almond butter.
Where do you get almond flour? Does
you
grocery
can get
store
almond
sell that?
flour at the grocery store. There's a healthy food section in majority of grocery stores. You look there, or just use regular oats.
And what's this?
And then we've got rice cereal. Now this is almond butter. Now a lot of kids deal with peanut allergies, and
right.
so almond butter, we drink almond milk at our home because everybody has dairy allergies.
You know, brain research says that there are chemicals in almonds that are especially good for your brain function.
I believe it. You'll see me, I'll have a little baggie and I'll put some almonds in there. It's brain fuel. So what we're gonna do is use the almond butter, and it incorporates into the mixture. And then what you want to do.
So anybody can do this.
This is not rocket science. And you know what? This is fun for moms to do with their kids, and it's easy cooking because nobody's using a knife, and nobody has a burner near them, so nobody's getting burnt or cut. And this is a great way to start cooking with your kids. So you want to incorporate
So your kids can help with this.
My kids love cooking in the kitchen. They love making healthy snacks, and it's a way for them to take ownership of what they're putting in their body as well.
So it's a bonding for them together.
It is. We bond around food. Think about Jesus in the Last Supper. He always broke bread with his disciples. That's where they did life together, and they encouraged one another. And so next thing we're going to put in, you can use either pure maple syrup, or you can use honey, and you want to go ahead and put that in.
You say pure maple syrup, not maple flavored syrup.
No, this is the real deal. This comes from the sap from the tree and all that good stuff. So you want to try to find, if you can't do organic everything, find some organic ingredients that you can put in.
Organically authentic.
That's a good word. Authentic is my word. It's all about living an authentic life, eating real food, having real relationships, and living a real life
And
for
getting
Jesus.
real energy.
I'm telling you, energy is essential because we need to be able to be fit to do what you do. So now I'm going to let
Okay.
you do this. So
All right.
we're in South Florida, so I love a little the island taste, little spice, but coconut. So we're going to put some shredded coconut in, but you can put whatever mix-ins.
So
if you
any of
want.
this is easy to get,
Nuts,
any grocery
yeah.
store.
And then we're going to do your favorite right here, a little
See,
bit of dark
she
chocolate
knew I was
chips.
watching the dark chocolate chips.
One of my favorite scriptures on is taste and see that the Lord is
good.
You know? So we're gonna just incorporate that, and you wanna stir it, and you can actually put this in a pan and make it like a granola bar.
Yeah.
Or you can do what I'm gonna show you right here. It's super easy. You wanna take some nonstick spray and just go ahead and spray your hands. And this is fun for the kids, because guess what? You're gonna get messy. And so you wanna pinch off a little bit of it, and then you just roll it into a ball.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is like playing with Play-Doh, Ron. I mean, come on. It's like being a kid again.
I love this.
And I washed my hands before I did that, but it just makes a little protein ball. So I'm gonna
look
have
at
you
that,
try
look at
that
that.
one. I'm gonna make one too.
Well, I've got to really think about this now.
I know, right? I have to convince you to eat chocolate.
When should I try this?
I think we should try it
Should I
now.
try
Let's
it immediately?
So take a little
All right.
bite. Don't
All
take
right,
all of
ready for
it.
this?
Cheers. What do you think?
Oh, my goodness.
Pretty amazing, right?
Oh, my
it's like
goodness.
eating dessert.
You know what it's got? It's got what kids will love. It's got flavor. I mean, like amazing flavor.
And you'll know with all of my cooking, when I
Wow.
do healthy cooking, it's all about the flavor because my kids won't eat it if it doesn't taste good. So what do you think? You can make this at home, right? Super
This is
easy.
great.
And we'll get the recipe too for your viewers so they can have that as well.
That's wonderful. This is delicious. And I'm not saying that to compliment Courtney. This is great. We should have had something to drink out here too. But I'll get it down. The authenticity of it, because you can taste
Right.
something that's real. It's not artificial. It's not fake. It doesn't have fake calories.
That's right.
It's not like a Coca-Cola that you drink. It's got nothing to
It's
it, really.
pure nutrition. And the easy thing with this is you put it in a baggie, you can roll up 3 or 4 of them, and you have it as a snack because you need to fuel your Ferrari.
How long would this keep? Like if you went out for an hour or two with your kids, would this keep?
Oh, absolutely, because there's nothing wrong there. There's no eggs or anything like that. And so what I do is I roll them all out or create a bar, put them in the fridge, and you put them in little baggies and you just grab them on the go.
Now, what did that take? Like a minute?
Yeah, it was so super easy. So we are excuse-free, right? We can choose to make
Right.
wonderful things that give us the energy and give us the nutrition that we
And the
need.
maple syrup gives it a great sweet flavor, which
It
kids
does,
will love.
absolutely.
So you'd rather have your kids have this than a candy bar?
Absolutely. We do treats. Now, I will say this because we don't want to deprive our kids of trying a Butterfinger or an ice cream sundae.
Something fun.
Or a Krispy Kreme donut. I mean, come on, we all need to try some things in our life. We don't need them all the time. But what they've realized is they don't crave the bad. They crave the good more. And so you fix their palate at a young age and they'll have a healthy habit.
So you
for
just
the
get
rest
them
of their
used to
life.
this.
Absolutely. They
Well,
love
now,
it.
I have to ask you this. This is, as far as eating at home, and by the way, this is not expensive either.
No,
right?
not
This doesn't cost
expensive at
much
all.
money.
Yeah.
When you eat at home with your kids and your husband, what would be a typical dinner meal? What would you
Okay.
do for dinner?
Well, one of the things that I encourage a lot of people to do when you do your grocery shopping, do a meal planning day. And so we'll have a day where we literally grill.
meal planning day?
We do. Sunday after church, we come home and make a big brunch, and then we start kind of prepping and cooking at least for.
And you do this together?
We do it as a family. We do because we're all prepping to fuel ourselves for the week ahead.
Right.
And so what we do is I love to grill. I mean, I'm a big griller, so I'll marinate all my
Well, you live in
meats.
Florida. My
I
goodness,
know.
you got outdoor weather.
Poolside, right? So we grill up our chicken, and then what I do is a meal for us is usually like basmati rice. I have a rice steamer. I'll do jasmine or basmati rice, a fresh vegetable that's seasoned nicely, and then we'll do a cut of meat, whether it's chicken breast or salmon, and I like a little red meat. I'm O positive, so we'll have steak maybe once a week or something. But our kids, that's our staple of what we eat,
My goodness.
throughout the week, and they love it.
And how is your energy level?
Through the roof. People always tell me if I could bottle your energy. And I said, but you know what? I have to fuel my temple every 2 to 3 hours because otherwise your blood sugar level starts dropping, your brain starts getting foggy. So if you fuel your body every 2 to 3 hours, eat eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and dinner like a prince, and have a snack, like a little snack like this in
Something
between.
that's healthy.
Your energy level and stamina will keep you running all the way through the end of the day.
People are very dependent on energy drinks now,
Yes,
very dependent on
caffeine.
caffeinating
Yep.
caffeinated beverages. One thing that I'm excited about that you've brought to this program is, again, the practicality
Yes.
of this information.
That's good.
Because if you want to have a great life, you have to have the energy to get up in the morning.
That's
you
it.
have to have the energy to make money. You have to have the energy to teach your kids. You have to have the energy to serve God, the energy to witness for Christ, the energy to help your church grow. if you don't have energy, then you're just, you just go into slob mode, basically.
That's right.
And who wants to do that? I was in a hospital recently visiting someone, and I was astounded. This was a Veterans Administration hospital. I was astounded at how the bad shape some of these individuals are in. And I'm sympathetic to them. They've served our country, and God bless them. But what was amazing, I found out the particular ward I was visiting, that the patients in that ward were 25 to 30 years younger than me.
Wow.
They were 25 years younger than me. And now they'd had a hard life. Some of them were hard drinkers. Some of them had partied hard. They did a lot of rough stuff, and your body can only take so much.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is start your kids early.
Yeah.
And train them early and keep them healthy and fit forever. And you don't sacrifice taste. You don't sacrifice flavor.
You don't have to. That's the biggest
You don't
lie.
sacrifice fun.
Oh, man, we have fun in everything we do, whether we're out on a bike trail together, whether we're watching a movie, whether we're in the kitchen together. But it's incorporating a healthy lifestyle and making it exciting and making it fun.
And I like your occasional fun out-of-the-box experience because I am a freaky milkshake lover.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an ice cream. I won't say the brand of it, but it was listed by USA Today as the best ice cream in America twice.
Oh, wow. I bet it can compete with my dad's.
The food critic of Vogue magazine listed it as the best ice cream in America. Wow. It's out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So it's all over northern Kentucky. Well, I go there and get their extra thick milkshakes.
Yeah.
And I'm just zoned out for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I love it. But I only do that occasionally. I try to do this kind of stuff most of the time.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you can have some fun with life.
It's moderation, Ron. You know, we need to learn to change the language because a lot of people call it a cheat meal. Oh, I'll eat clean throughout the week and I'll cheat. Well, cheat has such a negative connotation.
It does.
You wouldn't want to cheat on your spouse.
Like you're embarrassed, like you're hiding it.
You don't want a cheat meal either. I call it a treat because a treat is something you savor,
it's
enjoy.
A reward.
You gotta savor the flavor.
Yeah.
It is a reward, and God created things for our enjoyment. So take the guilt out of it. You know, present your body as a living sacrifice. Drink that water. Take a good multivitamin. Move your body daily, and have fun with it.
Well, and one thing too that I want to add to what you're saying is and you mentioned physical, biological movement of your body. Aerobic fitness is critical. Do you agree with that?
It is. It is.
It's foundational to health.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to run like I do, go out and take a vigorous walk.
Power walk. Yeah,
absolutely. My son has a rowing machine.
Yep.
And that's aerobically intense, and he does a great job with that. But I love what you said about cooking together as a family.
Yeah.
I want all of you to key in on this because I want you to have a great marriage, a great family. I want you to have great fitness. In other words, you inhabit this body. You inhabit this body. And that's not an accident. I mean, God didn't just blunder one day and put you in a body. That's not something He did by mistake. You're meant to inhabit a body.
That's right.
And so if your body doesn't function well, if you don't take good care of it, then you will not be able to function for God effectively.
That's right.
Like I said, how can you worship God if you don't feel good? It interferes with what God wants you to do.
Absolutely.
So this is a great lesson, Courtney. This is a powerful lesson. And I want all of you listening to key in on this. And I want you to encourage your children to get out and play and be fit and get out and roll around in the yard and just do different things. When I was growing up in southeastern Kentucky in the Appalachian Mountains, I started hiking the mountains when I was 8 years old by myself.
Wow.
Now, I'm not telling people they have to do that, but that was just common for kids in my region.
To get out and play.
We just went to the mountains. We'd be climbing, and we learned early to identify snakes, and we learned, I mean, my parents gave me a snake bite kit when I was 8 and taught me how to use it.
Honey.
And told me how to use it. So there's a lot of enjoyment that comes if you've been trained properly.
That's good.
Just to enjoy life. But don't you love Courtney? I mean, isn't she a great example of what she's talking about? And I want to circle back to where this show began.
Yeah.
There are many people who are struggling with depression, and the roots of their depression are not emotional. They may be, but sometimes they're not emotional and they're not spiritual. The roots of the depression are physical.
It's true.
They're physical. They don't eat right. They're not aerobically fit. They don't sleep well. It's actually physically rooted. And these things we're talking about can help people to be more fit.
It's giving them the tools, and I think at the end of the day, it's the tools, and it's teaching, and it's educating. But you know, what's working on the inside manifests on the outside. And when people get educated and understand they're a spirit, they have a soul made up of their mind, will, and emotions, and they just live in this body, they realize they can become a better steward over it, and they're not just defined by how they feel, but God's given you authority over your emotions,
now,
and to make the right choices.
Say something to our guests. And I want to be very kind in the way I say this. I don't want anybody to misunderstand this, because we love all of you. I mean, those of you watching this show, I mean, we really love you. I mean, in the Lord, we really do. And that's something easy to say, but it's from our hearts as a team, all of us doing this show. And what I want to say to you is not meant to be unkind, but you may not be tall and slim like Courtney. All right, you may have a weight problem. You may have a challenge. What do you say to those women watching who are struggling with their bodies right now?
Well, first of all, I struggled right where you're at. I mean, I battled with an eating disorder and exercise nervosia and depression, and I felt so paralyzed by my outer image. But I want you to know that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, that God created your body to glorify Him, that He has a plan for you to be the best that you've been called and created to be, that you don't have to use food as a drug to numb you. It's time to wake up. It's time to rise and shine, and know that the discipline that it's going to take time and consistency and discipline, and it's going to be painful when you pick those weights up. But I want you to know that just as our trials in life, as you're lifting weights, as you're doing exercise and you feel that discomfort and pain, that you're going to grow underneath that. You're going to stretch, and it's always a breaking down for a building up. So know that you're fit to fight the good fight of faith, and glorify God in your body and your spirit, and start making choices. Even if it's one choice today, put that soda down and start drinking that water, and give it to God, and watch Him free you from the bondage in your life.
Thank you, Courtney. And all of you watching, remember, we have an audio set that I'm going to make available to you right now. It is a powerful set. We've had thousands of people use this. Thousands of Christians have gotten physical freedom from listening to the audio set, How to Have Super Abundant Energy. It's based on cutting-edge research. It is totally biblical. It's made for you and your children. How to Have Super Abundant Energy. And you can order that download at ChooseGreatness.com. Choose Greatness. I love even saying it, Courtney.
Yeah, it's powerful.
ChooseGreatness.com. And remember, that set is going to make a difference in your life. So remember, super abundant energy, ChooseGreatness.com. We'll have Courtney back. God bless you, and remember, choose greatness every day.